Naruto Shippuden, an extremely lengthy anime that starts as a boy's humble journey to become a supreme leader of a nation, and ends with him fighting an alien moon goddess. Now you may have clicked on this video for an accurate summary of the Shippuden series, or maybe because you want a stranger's opinion on a 500 episode series before you quit your job and commit your life to finishing it. Either way, you've come to the right place. I'll do my best to break this video into bite-sized pieces based on the arcs that make up this series, because at the time of recording the script, it's made up of 14 pages, and I'm sure the timestamp at the bottom of your screen is rather large. Not to worry though, some call me the master of entertainment, and I'll make this journey as fun and confusing as a child's birthday party populated only by clowns and animatronic furries. So buckle in tight, lads, we'll be starting at the beginning. Awkwardly enough, in episode 1 we are thrown 50 episodes into the future. This is a classic tactic used to tease Sasuke's superfans and keep their desires at bay until his inevitable return. Naruto returns to the village, ditching the ugly orange jumpsuit for a more refined and mature black and orange. In unison with this heartwarming homecoming, the Sand Village gets fucking shelled harder than the front lines ever done in World War I. The perpetrator is this blonde guy whose only character trait is thinking that things go boom is cool. Oh, and he's got mouth hands. Luckily for the Sand Village, the guy they've treated like dog shit since he was a child overcomes his past trauma and shields their sorry asses. John Boom does the one thing he's good at and creates an atomic bomb shaped like a bird. Just before the Sand Village turns into the next Nagasaki, Gaara once more shields the village, using a lot of stamina in the process, leading to his capture. Puppet Man pursues the Akatsuki only to get blasted by some freak who creepily plays house with puppets. Should I be feeling sorry or very, very uneasy? Team 7 is eventually dispatched to assist, and the Kazekage rescue arc spends the next 20 episodes trying to figure out if it wants to be filler or adapt the actual plot. Here, have a look. Naruto and Kakashi run a marathon chasing John Boone for 10 episodes. Sakura showcases that you don't have to be a skilled ninja to dodge thousands of needles as long as your production budget is tight, and Team Guy spends the entire arc wondering if there is a point to their existence here. I guess we get to know Pinocchio and his backstory, but he does get killed by Sakura, so was he ever that cool in the first place? I'm sorry, I'm kinda drilling her today, aren't I? Kakashi and Naruto's chase eventually ends with a new record, and John Boone gets away with murder. Moved by Naruto's geysers of tears, this old fart gives her life to revive Gaara, and with that, a new yaoi narrative is born. What better way to end a story arc than an accidental establishment of intimate and romantical ties between two main characters? There is none. For the next arc, Team 7 undergoes some drastic changes. In Sasuke's shadow, another emo boy is planted. Let's call him Emo 2. The only difference is this one actually has a hobby outside of killing people, and he's not a dick the entire series. Chad leader Kakashi is currently hospitalized, so he's replaced with this guy. He's pretty cool. The newly formed team sets off to check a tip they received from the evil puppet master that Sakura killed. I too trust shady characters from a group that wants to demolish the world order. Upon arrival, they're thrown into a skirmish against Kabuto and Orochimaru, which really just turns into Naruto flipping shit and clapping the cheeks of this immortal freak. No, not literally. Now in this state, Naruto has absolutely no control over himself. It's almost as if he can hear the pleas of the higher beings asking for him to off Sakura, but of course, none of us are lucky enough for that to occur. It later turns out that Emo 2 is on a secret mission from the ninja CIA to kill Emo 1. Of course, a cheap copy can't beat the real thing, and this isn't even much of a fight. In fact, I can't even tell you if it even happened or not. Team 7 ends up fighting the Snake Freak's cavern, where he keeps the teenage boys whose bodies he desires. While that may sound out of context, I can't confirm that this is a true statement. In a stroke of luck during the confrontation we saw at the start of the series, Emo 2 becomes entranced by Naruto's devotion to Emo 1. In reality, Emo 2 drops the assassination attempt and tries to help Team 7 capture Emo 1, but Sasuke's powers have grown with each play of Numb by Linkin Park, and they are no match for him. Team 7 returns home, unsuccessful in capturing Sasuke. Naruto is extremely discouraged to see that Sasuke's power has far surpassed his own, so Chad leader Kakashi teaches him some cool new techniques, which gets put on hold so we can experience the beauty of filler arcs. Lucky for you and my sanity writing this, I am not wasting my time talking about this garbage. But on the plus side, the aspect ratio does finally increase to 16:9, and Naruto gets his face licked by some hot MILF in full 720p. That's pretty much all that's worth mentioning. Konoha is informed by two Akatsuki members that are beating the shit out of a bunch of Buddhist monks. Since this is a big no-no in the land of Naruto, Team Asuma is dispatched to deal with them. Who's Asuma? Well, he's this guy. He's having a kid apparently. Good on him, you know. I just hope he doesn't die or anything. Well, shit. Right when you get your character developed is when you're at your most vulnerable. Just ask the creepy puppet guy. Never mind, you can't, he's dead. Asuma dying was a big sad for Shikamaru. And like anyone would do after a death of a loved one, he starts smoking. Just kidding, that would be bad for the kids to see. Team 7 shows up and wipes the floor with this quirky goofball, and Shikamaru buries the cultist alive. Can't show a kid smoking, but you can have him bury a guy alive. Oh, but he doesn't die, he's immortal. That makes it even worse. Have you ever wanted a 20+ filler arc? Yeah, me neither. But hey, at least Naruto's acting like a player once more in these fillers. That yellow hair gets all the bitches. I can hear the ravenous voices asking where their lord and savior is. Not to worry though, Sasuke's story starts now. The end goal of Emo 1 is to kill his brother, and over the past several years living with a snake man who lusts for his eyes and body, he's been able to think of a 4-step plan to achieve this. Step 1, kill the snake man while he suffers from cancer. Step 2, recruit 3 individuals with unique abilities that the snake man has also lusted over. Step 3, accidentally get into a fight with John Boone. I don't know if that one was intentional. All I know is John Boone fucking nukes everything. And finally, step 4, get formally invited to a duel, making all of your preparations to this point somewhat worthless. But hey, it made for a good 10 episodes of content. Also, before this battle even starts, we cut off to Jiraiya's face off against Pain, the true king of God. Think of someone who commonly quotes Pain. Picture what they look like. That's what I thought. The climax of this battle ends with Jiraiya's death, which is pretty parallel to Sasuke's fight against his cooler older brother, who also croaks. Did he have a respiratory disease slowly killing him? Yes. Was he blind most of the fight? Yes. Did he let Sasuke win? Yes. Do some people still try to argue that Sasuke won fairly? Yes. Sorry guys, Sasuke would have been clapped by his older brother if this was serious. And as fate would have it, everything is revealed to Sasuke by Tobi, the guy we all thought was just a clown, but is actually very dark and emo himself. A trait built upon a dark background story that you will have to wait at least 250 more episodes to hear. After hearing that his brother was actually a good guy and committed genocide on their clan with good intentions. Yes, I am justifying genocide, please be patient. He decides to do the opposite of what his brother would have wanted in a series of thoughts that I don't quite understand. Sasuke joins the Akatsuki and attempts to capture the Eight Tails. Keyword attempt. After assuming he was successful, he turns his eyes towards killing the Kage. But that'll have to wait because first we need to talk about Pain. News about Jiraiya's death reaches the village and Naruto is big sad. Lucky for him, a sentient talking frog teleports him to Frog Mountain and teaches him Sage Jutsu. This may sound like a Disney movie, but fret not, this is still a show about ninjas. While learning how to use frog magic, Konoha is attacked by not 1, not 2, but 6 magic terrorists. Following a series of events, a majority of the village is killed, including Chad leader. Naruto returns after the 3rd atomic bomb of the series goes off, and the 6 paths of terrorism face off against Naruto and a bunch of cool looking frogs. Like any good Naruto fight, we eventually learn the traumatic backstory that makes a good man resort to bombing an entire village for the sole purpose of showing the world Pain. Naruto meets the true face of Pain and decides not to kill him after learning of his sad backstory. This choice miraculously changes Nagato's heart, and he revives the dead using quick revive no jutsu. Due to Sasuke's recent actions involving the Eight Tails, 5 Kage are summoned to his summit so that the right Kage can bitch the Leaf Village. Since Tsunade is in a coma due to the injuries suffered in the recent terrorist attack, Danzo seizes the position of Hokage. Various parties hope to achieve different things at the summit, with Tobi declaring war on the entire world, Naruto begging for forgiveness on behalf of Sasuke, and Sasuke committing mass Kage murder. He does quickly shift his goal only to the Hokage after he realizes the first was too lofty. After reaching peak insanity and killing Danzo, Sasuke is confronted by Sakura, who tries to kill him. To no one's surprise, she is unsuccessful, and Chad leader and Naruto have to save her ass. The two rivals have another heart-to-heart to rekindle their romance, and they live to fight another day. Due to spamming his OP jutsus for the past 4 hours, Sasuke has reached the skill cap and goes completely blind. Lucky for him, Tobi found a workaround in the Naruto-verse anti-cheat and gives him eyes with no repercussions, so any weight behind the use of the Sharingan powers is tossed aside like Italy's loyalty in the World Wars. With Tobi's success in starting a war, the classic Shonen War arc can commence. The Fourth Shinobi War is broken into 3 parts, the first pretty much being preparations before it begins. Naruto and B hide away on a moving island to 1. Safeguard them since their capture is the opposing side's goal, and 2. So that Naruto can learn to control the demon inside him. That sounds metaphorical at first, but he quite literally has a demon within him, a detail fresh in your mind after seeing this. In tandem with this, Tobi and now his snake Kabuto reincarnates half the entire cast of Naruto, some being familiar faces, and some you have no idea who the fuck they are. They're cool though, so we're just gonna overlook the fact that people this legendary were not mentioned up until this point in the story. And in the other corner, we have the Great Shinobi Alliance, that for the most part is made up of cannon fodder that will die without anyone even knowing their names. If for one moment you think Sand Shinobi 16 or Leaf Ninja 40 is making it out alive, you're quite wrong. Oh, what's this? Looks like Shark Boy has decided to join the fight. Guy beats the fuck out of him, but before he can die, you guessed it, we finally get a backstory for his character hundreds of episodes after he was introduced. Left in a vulnerable state after receiving some character development, Shark Boy commits senpuku, but with sharks. As Naruto has now obtained the new ability to control demonic chakra, the second part of the war arc can begin. While the tide of war could be turned to the Alliance's favor if Naruto and B got involved, it was decided by the higher gods they would not show up until later to give the B-list shinobi a chance to not be overshadowed. Of course, this happens regardless, as Chad leader Kakashi is still in the picture. Naruto and B eventually take on Itachi and Nagato, and by take on I mean play into Itachi's hands just as expected, and the control over Itachi's reanimated corpse is broken. The rest of the cast fight various reanimated Kage, legendary shinobi, and random low-tier characters, in fights that range from extremely fire to a waste of time and money. We're finally freed from this filler creator's dream with the appearance of Madara, who absolutely wipes the floor with anyone who so much as blinks in his direction. After throwing not one, but two giant meteors at the Shinobi Alliance, all five Kage attempt to defeat Madara. Keyword on attempt. Meanwhile, Naruto is busy attempting to prevent the birth of the Ten Tails. What really takes center stage here is not one, not two, but three character backstories. When Sasuke meets up with his cooler older brother and they fight Kabuto, we get a backstory. While Naruto fights Tobi, aka Obito, we get a backstory. And since we're on such a roll here, why not just give Kakashi a 13-episode backstory to break some tension off these climactic fights? If you haven't realized yet, I have a slight frustration with the pacing of this anime. Oh, and surprise, while you were busy trying to set your feet after Neji gets fucking offed out of nowhere, Sasuke befriends the somehow living, teen-obsessed Snake, and they reanimate all the dead Hokage. Cue fourth backstory. The Hokage and Sasuke joined the fight to stop the Ten-Tailed birth, and to add to the pot, we're blessed from the heavens with an emotional fight between two childhood rivals who have a bone to pick with each other. No, it's not Naruto and Sasuke. Yeah, it's those two. Around this time, it's revealed that Tostino plans to use the Ten-Tails to cast a genjutsu over the entire world so that he can dream about being with some dead girl. So yeah, this man's getting the biggest simp award. Despite all their efforts, the Ten-Tails is eventually birthed, and Tostino transforms into a fucking space alien. Thankfully though, his simp nature remains intact. Naruto, Sasuke, and the reanimated Hokage take him on, but he's literally a space god now. He's like a deity both in strength and form. The god of simping. You gotta let go, man. Lucky for us, Naruto performs a skill check on Tostino with his Talk no Jutsu, and he sways him away from being the biggest simp to ever exist on this side of the galaxy. It's too bad though that this gets overshadowed as the plot gets more convoluted and Madara fully resurrects himself by sacrificing the defeated Obito, ordering Black Zetsu to take control over Obito's body and perform the Samesada of Heavenly Life technique. Following this turn of events, he then fights all of the tailed beasts, Naruto, Sasuke, all of the remaining Kage and Hokage, and the entire Shinobi Alliance. Not only does he manage to reseal all of the beasts into the Ten Tails, but also kills Naruto and Sasuke. Just as all hope is lost when... Sorry about that. We've got to shift through 19 episodes of random fucking filler before we can find out the two main characters are dead or alive. Let's skip ahead. To no one's surprise, a show called Naruto is not going to kill off the character named Naruto. The whole explanation for how these two can be resurrected can be summed up much easier in two words: space magic. While these two lovebirds are busy being dead and talking to some old alien man, Guy is fighting a juiced up Madara that just injected himself with alien steroids. This is the equivalent of David versus Goliath. Guy is just a regular guy, but he's not wasting time going for the throat of Madara Schwarzenegger. Guy uses this insane taijutsu skill to nearly clap Alien Boy's cheeks. The repercussions for this skill is certain death, and while he is able to land a good hit, he isn't able to finish the fight before he dies. As we mourn the death of this absolute god of a fighter, the newly resurrected Naruto pops in and just casually reses Guy from the dead, making the entire buildup and weight of Guy's choices to use this jutsu, despite knowing he would die, feel absolutely pointless. How'd you go and use that magic on Neji, Naruto? He did die for you after all. How does that shit even work? I need details, Kishimoto. Yamamoto. You can't just add a jutsu that can revive someone on death's door and not explain what the fuck just happened. Let's just move on. Tostino gets his Rinnegan stolen from Madara, and now with both Rinnegans he can open his third eye and create the infinite Tsukuyomi. Are you following? There's a lot going on, I know. Lucky for you though, there's a 30 episode filler break to allow some ample time to digest the knowledge you have just received. Please just skip it and save yourself the pain. Immediately following shitty filler pack 8, Madara's steroids start to get the better of him, and he begins to suffer from bubble gut. Or that's what I thought before a full-grown moon goddess is birthed out of his fucking corpse. As we know very little about Kaguya at this moment, Kishimoto is nice enough to give us a backstory for her in chunks between the final fight. Why thank you great mangakas for properly learning how to pace stories. Anyway, here's the lowdown on Kaguya. Basically, alien moon god princess crashes into Earth to eat a magic tree's fruit and become god with a big G. At first she falls in love with some guy and puts her plan on hold for a bit, but in a series of events the guy she loves chooses to kill her to appease the rival nation and stop a conflict. It doesn't do shit, by the way. Kaguya is forced to eat the fruit to defend herself, and she puts everyone under infinite Tsukuyomi. She later has 2 kids with her same powers. They realize that their mother is batshit crazy and they kill her. Or seal her, or whatever. She comes alive again, so I don't really know what to call it. Back to the present, Team 7 is still fighting the moon goddess. You remember when this show was about some derpy kid in an orange jumpsuit wanting to be a cool ninja? Yeah, now he's fighting fucking space people with wizard powers given to him by some alien spirit. Shit goes from 1 to 1,000 in this show. They are successful in their endeavor and seal Kaguya, but immediately following, Sasuke announces that he is once again switching sides and wants to rule over the world. People do try to reason with him for a bit. I mean, can't we put this conversation in the back burner for a bit? We've kind of been through enough already. Of course, that's a hard no from him, and he makes all of the recently freed tailed beasts slaves again, forcing Naruto in a fight to decide whether or not the Naruto verse is going to have a 17-year-old punk rock fanatic as their world ruler. Now, there is a long-running debate here about the Naruto v Sasuke fight that I'm just gonna absolutely stomp out right here and now. Naruto's stronger than Sasuke. I said it. Search your feelings. You know it to be true. Sasuke powered up with all the tailed beasts for this fight, fought less than Naruto has for the past 48 hours. Plus, on top of that, he is fighting to kill while Naruto is holding back. Naruto is the stronger competitor here, and you can't disagree whatsoever. Even Sasuke admits that he lost the fight. So as these two lovebirds put aside their conflicts, Sasuke finally decides to work with Naruto to shape a future they can both be happy with. Power of compromise, everyone. Something I wish Sasuke learned ages ago. After Sasuke's defeat, the shinobi mourn the death of the major characters, but you can forget all about the existence of Leaf Shinobi 32 and the heroic deeds he accomplished. You will be remembered by me, young one. Chad Leader gets appointed to Hokage, once again showing he is the alpha male. Naruto becomes the hero he always wanted to be, and the people who used to spit in his direction now fawn over him like white teenage girls at a Jonas Brothers concert. Sasuke is imprisoned for less than a year, or not at all in the manga, despite the fact he went AWOL, attempted kidnap, attempted to kill the Kage, worked with a criminal organization, and attempted to seize world rule. But it's alright, guys. He's out to build some bridges and slay some bitches. Minus that last part. Hashtag Naruto x Sasuke. So after that, the story is pretty much over. There's 3 mini arcs that take place a couple years after the war, and being honest, they're pretty good. Not only is the animation top notch, unlike this haircut, but the stories are interesting and well done. The first follows Sasuke on his journey to atone as he investigates several occurrences of exploding humans. The second's about Shikamaru on a covert mission to infiltrate a new formed group of rogue ninja. And the last is about Naruto and Hinata's marriage. And out of nowhere, yeah, but I think we all knew it was gonna happen. And with that, the anime is wrapped up and there are no continuations of the Naruto series. It's over. There's nothing. Please. I'm begging you. Fuck it, I'm out of here.